One more thing. Would Nico Harrison think about trading the number one pick in Cooper Flagg for Giannis? Should he? Talk about all that and more. Locked On Mavs. One more thing.
I'm here because I have to be.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
People forget about fun.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
Yeah, you're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Dallas Mavericks for 10 years. Thanks for being an everydayer, making Locked On Mavs your first listen. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Joining me, my co-host, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years, the trade titan, the one more thinking. How you feeling, Isaac Harris?
I can't even describe how I'm feeling right now. I'm almost kind of like crashing at this point because we've experienced the emotional high of landing this top pick to get Cooper Flagg, and I'm just going to spend the whole night watching Cooper Flagg film tape.
Aren't we all? Yeah, we're recording this at 7:30 on Monday night after the lottery happened. We already did a reaction show. We did a live reaction show. We did our actual reaction show after that. That's already posted whatever feed you're listening or watching this on. And now we're going to talk about a couple of what ifs because there's some big things happening, including in the NBA. Today, Shams Charania had talked about that this is the first time Giannis has seriously considered thinking about moving on from the Bucks. He's in a situation with the Bucks right now where they're not going to win a title. They just don't have the assets to move to get players. Their players are getting older. Brook Lopez, Damian Lillard's going to miss all next year. They're just not going to have it. And so now you look at the possibility of, all right, well, maybe we should move on from Giannis, or maybe Giannis should move somewhere else. Maybe we should trade him. He's under contract. He's making $54 million. He's on a 3-year deal now. And it's crazy, but the Mavs have now lucked into this number one pick, 1.8% chance that they were going to get this number one pick and got it. And they lucked into this generational player in Cooper Flagg. But Nico Harrison also looks at this team and says, I want to win now. And as an 18-year-old in Cooper Flagg, does that help you win now as much as Giannis? No, absolutely not. Cooper Flagg helps in so many other ways, but having a multiple-time MVP like Giannis would help you win now. So the first question I want to pose is just, would Nico Harrison do this? Would he trade Flagg for Giannis? Because I see a lot of people talking about, well, I'm so nervous that he's going to trade this pick. But if he did trade it for somebody, Giannis is not a bad player to go out and get.
Yeah, I mean, based off everything that Nico Harrison has said about the timeline, what he wants in a player, and all of this stuff, Giannis would be the type of guy that he would trade a Cooper Flagg for. Because he brings everything you'd want in a star player. I mean, arguably the best player in the league with Jokic and, Luka and SGA and these guys. So it just gets, it's one of those tough things to where it's like, he's in the prime of his career. He's won a title, MVP, defensive player of the year. And to add him to a Mavericks team, there are scenarios that you could, you could package, some things together to get to his number there, to where then you have your own big three of Giannis, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, in Dallas and stuff. You could talk about basketball fit and all that. So would Nico do it? I think there's a world in which he would do it. Would Patrick Dumont double down again of saying, Nico Harrison, you get to make another decision that's one of the biggest decisions in franchise history? That's to be seen. We've seen the reaction after the last one. So,
man, what a choice being put in an owner's spot where now you're like, okay, he made this huge decision. I've seen the fallout from it. He is on record saying he was surprised by the fallout of it. And now you're going to trust him. And now from the reports we've heard, Nico Harrison is like back to zero with ownership. He gained a bunch of respect, and obviously, we're ride or die with Nico Harrison because he got the Mavs to a finals. He built a team around Luka that got to a finals, but then he made that trade, and then everything happened last season. And now you're like, all right, are we gonna do that again? Does he have enough cachet with ownership to make a trade like that? I kind of think he still does.
Well, I mean, what's the main goal right now? If the main goal is we want to win a title next year or in the next 2 years, and that's all you're thinking about,
Yeah.
and Patrick Dumont is all about that, then you understand going and getting Giannis. But it's not about just going and getting Giannis with this pick. It's all right. Let me detail this out for you of which team do you think has a better chance at winning an NBA title? Kyrie, Anthony Davis, Giannis as your big three with a Max Christie, Najee, and some minimums. Or Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Cooper Flagg with Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Gafford, Lively, Caleb Martin, Max Christie, Najee, and the rest of the people. And so it's like, what do you think? It's the deeper team, but also having the A+ like cornerstone to build around the future in a Cooper Flagg, but you got a lot more deeper depth in that, or you go with the big three and it's Giannis, AD, Kyrie coming back in January with two of those role players sticking around. Lavi's probably not staying in that deal, and then minimum contracts after that. How serious, Patrick Dumont, how serious are you about pursuing Nico's dream of winning the title next year?
And would that be better? Because you have to give up a lot for Giannis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That, like, all those players you just named out, and the two different lineups that you just mentioned, like, you're losing a lot of depth. And we're seeing right now in the playoffs that depth really matters. We've seen the Thunder had to just dig deep against the Nuggets to get a big win. We've seen
Rick Carlisle's playing 10 or 11 players every single night.
Our boy Rick Carlisle's playing double-digit players in his lineup right now. Like, there's just a lot of players. But then we also see the Nuggets, where if you have a really good starting five and then one more, and a player that's top three, you can make it work. And so would that be enough?
Yeah, think about it this way. We were saying before the Kyrie injury, post trade, we're like, hey, if they get healthy before the ACL injury, remember, it's like they get healthy by the end of the season. How many teams out there are you like scared of in the playoffs? If Kyrie was healthy, Anthony Davis is healthy. We just did a show a few days ago talking about how wide open the West is right now. And it's like, man, if these Mavericks were healthy, where would they be in the playoffs and stuff right now? Well, imagine that team with Cooper Flagg, because like you're adding Cooper Flagg for nothing, so it's like you're not getting anything. So yes, Giannis is by far and away past Cooper Flagg right now. If Cooper Flagg ends up being what Giannis is in the league or something like that with those accomplishments, I mean, sign you up all day and everything. But it's like, if there's a player out there, I mean, we did it in our reaction pod, but it's like, if Nico honestly does open it up to take some calls, I said it on that podcast, I'm like, it's just Wemby that I'm like really listening to. If Milwaukee calls and says, hey, we really are going to help Giannis here, what's those conversations look like? And can Nico do that can Nico do that with the fan base too, of saying, like, even though it is Giannis, like, and Giannis is unreal, to have Giannis at Dallas, I think it would still rub some of the fans the wrong way too.
Yeah, because Giannis is 30. It's not like you're trading for another young star, and he's younger than Anthony Davis, and he has less injury history for sure, but still,
he hasn't been as healthy as you would think over the past few years too. True. He's played in this playoffs and stuff, but he's had a few injury stuff. He's wherever, I mean, every team would love to have Giannis. So, and I love Giannis, and so much about Cooper Flagg is what I love about Giannis too, as far as his tenacity and what, the defense, two-way side, and a lot of that different stuff. Not the same type of player, but still. And that's what Nico wants, right? It's this thing he's talked about post-trade is defense wins championships, culture, and like all the different stuff. And Giannis is the prime example of all of those things that someone looks for. And he is a Nike signature athlete.
Oh, truth. Coming up, what should they do? We'll answer that and more. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs, the one more thing, is brought to you by FanDuel. NBA playoffs are in full swing. There's all kinds of can't miss stuff, momentum shifts, totally amazing games. The playoffs have been awesome. I've absolutely loved it. Check out all the different types of things with FanDuel. They have draft odds. We mentioned them on our reaction show, minus 100,000. Cooper Flagg's going to go number 1, which is absolutely wild. You've got the next game against the Thunder versus the Nuggets. The Thunder are a 10.5-point favorite in that next game. Wow, that is actually surprising to me. Go check that out. And if you think that you have a guaranteed definite winner, put down $5 on it. If it's your first $5 bet, you get $200 in bonus bets. Head to FanDuel.com, place your first $5 bet. If that wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
I have to apologize that you felt that he should have played more. I'm here because I have to be.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
People forget about film.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
It was worth playing again. It was worth playing again.
Yes.
The Mavs should not trade Cooper Flagg for Giannis. This is your chance. This was your get out of jail free card, because it not only sets up you right now to be a little bit better and to try with what you're doing now, it sets you up for the future. And I think the future is more important than right now with the Mavs, because you look at this team and they're built around 2 injury prone guys that are great, that are awesome when they play. But there's so many ifs for this Mavericks team right now. And there could be less ifs if you build around a Cooper Flagg and build something going forward for the future. And I think to me, bringing in a Giannis, giving up all that depth that you have to give up to hopefully get a healthy Giannis, who has, like you said, his injury history has not been great recently. Healthy Anthony Davis and healthy Kyrie. Like, it's not just that you have those 3 players, which Kyrie's on a player option. We don't even know if he'll come back. It's not just those 3 players. It's if those 3 players are healthy as well. There's just so many factors in that, to me. And for that reason, Shark Tank style, I'm out.
It's really tough because I love Giannis. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I mean, it's like he's one of the dream targets. They're like, if you could have any other player in the league on the team, or any player in the league to pair up with Luka Doncic, who would it be? It's like Giannis every time. And it goes back to, and even with probably something that they've admitted at times too since the Luka trade, they've probably learned a little bit more how much this fan base can be attached to a star player. And you've had Dirk Nowitzki for 21 years. You got this wild, I wouldn't say luck, because it's not like, you did have to like move up and give up something to get Luka and be all in, and you're scouting and all the stuff. But you get another crack at it that they overlap, right? Like Luka and Dirk overlap for 1 year, and everybody's like, this is insane. Like you actually found your next guy. And now after this, they actually do get another crack at it, and you get another crack at it to like get the star player that your fan base can fall back and like fall in love with again. And you could put on the billboards, you can sell the jerseys, you can, sell with the season ticket holders and all the different stuff. Like, this is what they've probably learned over the past 6 months is, holy crap, this fan base can get attached to a player. And it's a little bit different. And I know there's probably some people saying, well, Giannis is popular, my kids have his shoes, and he's just so much fun, and like all this stuff. There's a difference, right? When you have a player and you draft him and he grows up with your franchise, and that type of attachment, compared to a mercenary title that you have, you bring in a Kyrie, AD, Giannis, and all the stuff. And it's like, you win a title, there's been so many people, it's like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't feel the same and all the stuff. You'd still be there at the parade, but yes, it does feel a little bit different. And that plays a big role in that everything has happened. You have a chance you have another crack at it that no team gets. Like, just take the guy, and now you get another star to do all the things you did with Luka, get your fan base back in, and so they can be confident again of like, all right, we got a young piece for the next decade.
The thing, the like 2 timelines path the Warriors just showed is very hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mavs would be doing this if they keep Cooper Flagg and keep Kyrie and have Anthony Davis still, obviously. It's very hard to do. But I think the the Mavs' second timeline of the future would be set up a lot more than the Warriors, or
Well, yeah, the Warriors didn't have a Cooper Flagg. They were trying to
they
do
thought
the
they
double
did. They had
timeline with
James Wiseman,
James
who was
Wiseman
a number
and
two
Kuminga.
pick.
Like, so Wiseman wasn't viewed the same way.
No, true.
When he was coming out of Memphis and stuff. So this is one of those dudes, those guys. Like you only get those. I mean, the last time we had a guaranteed stuff like that, people are talking about Zion. I think he's a better prospect than Zion. I think you're going back to the Anthony Davis days at Kentucky, and you're looking at that type of guy, two-way impact on the floor. And that's why I'm favored. Just like keep the pick, man. Like, and what better of a guy for him to come in and learn from than Anthony Davis? And he can like play with AD, learn how AD played in his younger days and stuff too. The brotherhood, Dallas is building the brotherhood in Dallas, have their own big three of Kyrie, Lively, and Cooper Flagg as their Duke guys. And
how much does it kill you that the Mavs will now have three like great Duke players on the team?
Oh, I don't even care now. Like,
oh, really? As a North Carolina guy, you don't care?
I love Kyrie, so I just that's just like kind of throwing it all out for me since Kyrie's been here. I mean, Kyrie's been one of my favorite Mavs of all time. So
it's great. It's great, dude. Dude, it's great.
Hey, I just want to use this one real quick.
See you guys at the lottery.
Yeah.
It's less sad now. There's less of a sad connotation on it now.
Mavericks kept Nico at home for the lottery.
Well, he was there. I know he was there.
Well, yeah, I meant like not in the room,
but he was not a representative, so
not in an official role and with stuff. But there's some cool shots of Ro Blackman. And
shout out to Rolando Blackman. Confidence, baby, confidence.
Yes.
But
no, Giannis is, if he goes somewhere and gets traded this offseason, it's going to be an insane package.
The Thunder.
But if it's Dallas, it's the ultimate. Holy crap, man. They're really letting Nico. I mean, they're talking about double down again about who's running the franchise. That would be a wild case. I think they should just stay pat, take Cooper Flagg.
So many other things to get into. We'll talk about all those things. Thanks for hanging out with us on the One More Thing. It's a bonus episode. We'll have more stuff tomorrow on who Cooper Flagg is and all that. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.